Hey there, y'all. This is Jack, and today we're discussing My Hero Academia chapter 419 Design. Okay, I gotta give it to Hirokoshi on this. Not a bad chapter, I gotta say. The ending is a little. I'm not a fan of that, but we'll get to that when we get to that. This chapter is actually not bad. I gotta say. I like that we see the intelligence of All for One. Just because we've always been told that he's been very, very intelligent. We just get little snippets of him saying how intelligent he is and stuff that he's done. But here it's all full on, like, yes, yes. So it's great. So let's just dump right into the review, shall we? Jump right into the review. Sorry, got out of work too long ago. My apologies, all right? So, yes, inside the world of Shigaraki and Deku, as they were both talking to each other, um, yes, All for One just emerges out of the rubble, just pulled together, as he's just saying, Izuku Midoriya, look at what you've done to my One for All. And dear Yoichi, but it's all thanks to your efforts of changing Tinko's unconscious mind that I have once again regained control. So yes, Deku indirectly helped One for All again. Sorry, all for One for all for one. My apologies. AFO. Yeah, and Shigaraki loosening his grip on vengeance got All for One just emerging out of that and being able to take control of Shigaraki's mind as Shigaraki realized all this, all the events of this that happened was by design of All for One. He took away Shigaraki's quirk when he was a baby, that he would get with his father, talk with him, just keep up on how he's doing, that he would go to some kids and, have them play with Shigaraki. And then we see him taking Shigaraki home, and as he's holding Shigaraki's hand, he transfers the disintegration quirk. So that quirk is interesting because I don't know if that quirk, because he did say he had to strip all like the regeneration and all that from it. So I don't know if that quirk, like if you disintegrate someone, you could bring them back or something like that. But it seems like whatever happened, he just took the destruction part, gave it to Shigaraki that day, so he would be able to use it on his parents and kill them all and destroy everything, and Shigaraki would be left with nothing but with despair. And when finally All for One would tell them, he would just shatter mentally, and All for One would be able to take over his body, and he does. And we get up in just this very more surprisingly more menacing look of Shigaraki's body. All for One took control. All for One took control of his body, as he says, "My medium plan failed." And we just hear as he's talking, he's talking. There's just another voice just yelling like as he's talking, as he says, "A lingering memory." Silence as he grows a hand to cover, his mouth, similar to what Shigaraki has the hands on his face. But this one's just on the side, which I'm not gonna lie, no, I'm not a fan of that look. The whole hand. I mean, it was fine for Shigaraki in the beginning, but once he fought the Liberation Army and he destroyed it when he fought Reed Deathstroke, I always figured that was just him moving on. Then later on, he got a hand back that just so happened to have survived. And then All for One just getting it, just sticking on his face, or growing it, I should say. Not a fan of that look, I'm not gonna lie. But he's a much more leaner, thinner, as he just thinks to himself, it seems the physiological damage is reflected on this body. Decay, the anger, the hatred, they're all gone. Did he die? Referring to Shigaraki, clearly not. Along with this vessel, I searched so painstakingly for so many years, and my little brother too, nothing left but to move on to the next stage. And we get Deku just saying, "Oh, for one," as he just looks over and says, "Now being the terribly empty and pointless final goal, world domination." And Deku, okay, before that, okay, so I don't know if he's immortal, but at this point, no one could stop him. And as he even said so himself, now begin the terribly empty and pointless final goal, world domination. So essentially, I do feel that some part of Shigaraki's body is influencing him because he All for One did want to take over the world, but Shigaraki wanted to just destroy it and just destroy it all. And now that he's saying, now begins the terrible, empty, and pointless final goal, world domination. I assume it's kind of a mix. He wants to take over the world, you know, but I think that part of Shigaraki, the body of it, is more like like being like, well, it's that's pointless, really. I mean, just like, what are you gonna do after that? Like it's pointless. You're gonna be able to do it, and no one's gonna stop you. It's just a pointless goal, because like, yeah, I could do it, but I'm just gonna pass some time, which is interesting. I gotta say for this character, because again, it is contrast with what we know for All for One, because we know his goals. He wants to take over the world, but also seeing that Shigaraki's not his mental state, but his body's still affecting him. Because man, this is essentially Shigaraki's body. Just All for One just took over it with his memories and stuff. And Deku tries getting up, but we see his arms. He's missing both arms. Consequences. Sorry. I'm happy to see it. I am very, 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 very happy to see this because I like this. I like it when my heroes, get consequences for their actions. And him trying to save Shigaraki, I'm not a fan of it, but it's dealing with the character Deku, and we see consequences. Imagine if he saved Shigaraki and then he got his both arms gone. It'd have been worth it. But at this point, no. He is so screwed. Deku is so freaking screwed. Yeah, All for One essentially knows that he's like, so both our bodies have been damaged. And Deku's just yelling and shouting in pain as he remembers his arms and he's reaching out for Shigaraki. But Deku's not out of it yet. He says, not yet. And All for One just says, people become stronger in a proportion to their losses. I plan on establishing that narrative. This is the inevitable outcome for someone who never had anything to lose to begin with. He's about to finish off Deku, but then we get some other heroes arriving to help, which they were absent for most of this arc. Literally, they were. Zero, Ojiro, and Sato come in and save Deku at the last moment. As they're here, as they say, we're here to save you. They hit All for One, and then we get Aizawa on the last page saying, "Sorry to keep you waiting." Okay, this is the part that I like. Okay, this is the part that I like. Everything else I liked. So Aizawa them just so happened to arrive just in time to save Deku. Contrived, very much so. And also, how in the world? So I'm assuming Aizawa and President Mike probably got contact with their friends somehow. Their friends using he reconnect with his old friend, his memories, and opened a portal for them to get through to help help Deku out. I think that's what's gonna happen in the next chapter. We probably get an explanation, probably a few pages. Then we'll jump back to Deku, or probably the next page will be that, and then we'll see concluding on the rest of the battlefield, and all the heroes will be arriving probably at this point, but they can't because I would say 95% of them are down and out. They can't really do much no more. Honestly, really, they can't. So I'm assuming what we're getting here is Aizawa, as some of the his students are going to try to do everything they can to help. And I'm glad that Deku's. I know Deku can get robot arms. I mean, obviously, right? But I like that his arm, they're gone. That's good stuff there. Consequences for your actions. Deku tries saving Shigaraki instead of trying to eliminate him. Well, your good actions did result in negative effects, especially with what we see here. All for One's back. He took over Shigaraki's body. He has everything he wants. But aside from the contrivance point at the end here, I'm gonna give this chapter a 7 out of 10. I did like it. Honestly, I could be argued down to a 6, but for the most part, yeah, everything else was pretty good. All for One, all his plan makes sense. His change in attitude makes sense, and Deku having consequences, I love it. So yeah, that concludes my review. If you listen this far, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.